Hello, Houston. I'm Roger D with Texas Tea, where I bring on entrepreneurs, hustlers, and prodigies for them to tell you their success stories and what makes them successful. Today's guest is a mother of three with a full-time family, a full-time job, but finds the time to make some amazing fragrances for your car. And if she had her way, each and every one of you listening right now, your car would be smelling absolutely fabulous. And her company also happens to be one of the best named companies I've ever heard, Texas Tea, where she makes Freshies. Jessica Engesveen.
Yay, you got it.
I got her last name right. Oh my God. I messed her last name up about 37 times, so I'm very excited.
43, but it's okay.
43.
Who was counting?
Who was counting? I guess you were.
No.
But anyway, so pretty awesome that you have your own at-home business, which you started during a year where there's a pandemic,
Yes.
which props to you, by the way.
Thank
You have a whole job to go to, a whole family to run. How, if you can give advice to someone who's looking to start their own business at home, start something they love, has the same situation as you, already has a job, already is taking care of family, what would you tell them?
I would say make sure that you have a supportive family, a supportive structure. Find something that you love to do. Do I love to make Freshies? Absolutely. But
Yes.
I love the time to myself that I have to focus on one thing. It helps me kind of decompress and kind of relax. And I'm at home, which is my comfort zone where I like to be.
Yeah.
So if somebody else wanted to start an at-home business, make sure that your family is okay with that. And then make sure, like me, I have a 14, 13, and 11-year-old. So they're pretty self-sufficient when it comes to taking care of themselves. I think my husband probably needs me way more than they do as far as the house goes. But yeah, make sure you have a good support system and you have time to invest in this. I definitely don't want this to take away from my 9 to 5 because that's where that provides for my family. And I need that. I need that to, keep my family afloat. And this is just something that I enjoy to do on the side. And I also have, I've battled with some things in the past. So getting out and meeting people and doing things, doing like these markets and stuff like that, it kind of helps get me out of my comfort zone and to trying new things, which I'm not used to really doing before too. So that really helps too.
I got you. So were you excited to come on your first podcast?
First podcast ever.
Okay. Were you excited to get in front of a mic?
Yes, I will say excited. Excited's a good word.
Okay.
I didn't know exactly what I was going to talk about because I literally make trees for your car. No, they're not trees, but fragrances. Wow. And I don't want to dumb down what I do, but it's just having the opportunity to do this. I thought it was pretty cool I know people that have been in business for a while that haven't done something like this. So now I have a level up, I think.
Well, I would definitely say it's not just trees for your car. They're definitely way more badass than that. And actually, I forgot to grab some. Can you grab some, Gonzalo? I'm so sorry. You're the best. I love you. You had also mentioned that you love making the Freshies. Freshies? Did I say
Freshies?
That? Freshies. I almost said Frenchies, and I was like, Frenchies?
Not dogs.
Not dogs. Those dogs are awesome.
They are.
But it seems that I would think if you're doing anything at home, it definitely wants to be something that you're passionate about too. What for you putting together the Freshies makes it something that you really love and you could put your heart and soul into?
Right. I think the design of it, I like coming up with new designs, different designs, something that's different. I'm not your, if you look up Freshies on Pinterest or on Etsy or, some little cutesy thing like that, you'll see the little llamas or the hearts or the cows. Yeah. I make guns and Trump and army things, and I give people what I would want hanging in my car, although some people have told me I probably shouldn't have a gun hanging in my car. But
well, I mean, if you have a gun that smells that good, right?
And then just new ways, integrative ways to kind of bring some of the stuff that I'm passionate about that I know like-minded people will be passionate about too.
Right.
I do make the other stuff as well. You know, most of my stuff in the shape of Texas, or I have, you know, some little cactuses and other stuff that I think is really cool too. But that was like my main drive. And then to be inclusive of everybody, you know, I added everything else with it.
Right.
So that's what gets me going, is finding cool things to do, and the smells.
But now we have a clear distinction in every other podcast. Now I am definitely way blinged out. I'm exercising in theory my Second Amendment right.
There you go. Yes.
But anyways, no, yeah, so super cool. So you of course are passionate about that, and I'm sure you would advise anyone who's looking to get into something at home, they need to at least like what they're doing.
Absolutely. Like what you do, and then have another thing for me is that's my creative outlet.
Yeah.
So if I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, or if maybe I'm in the midst of feeling like an anxiety attack coming on or a panic attack coming on, I take tweezers literally and move tweezers around, move each bead perfectly into its spot. So it kind of helps me focus, zero in, forget everything else, and I'm just focusing on this one thing right now. So it kind of helps me catch my breath and come back down. And if I need an hour or two, my family's really discerning in saying, you know what, we're just gonna leave her alone, let her go in her front room, watch football, do what she got to do, and, you know, give me that time.
So not only are you bringing a great product to the Texas, Houston area, you also utilize this for therapeutic reasons.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
And I think I've seen, I remember I saw someone in the rooms, AA rooms, that would always stitch. And it was for the exact same reason.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept her mind just like centered and everything like that. So obviously a little bit of a different situation, but in those moments, it's like, I would assume for you, you're just so focused in on that nothing else matters.
Right. Yeah. It's like I hyper focus. So I'm working on myself and that right now, but right now it's one of the steps. So now instead of hyper focusing on the negativity, I'm going to hyper focus on this.
Right.
And then slowly breathe and do my techniques that I know how to do to get myself out of there.
Right.
But now at least my focus is off of the negative and onto something positive.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing this, why not share it with everybody else and, you know, make a buck or two?
So, and that's pretty cool, by the way, because basically you're taking something that is inherently a struggle and coming from a place of like negative emotions, and you're bringing it into positivity for yourself, and then, like you said, positivity to other people.
Absolutely.
So, and absolute perfection.
Yes, and perfection. If it's not perfect, it gets scrapped.
I believe that. So, speaking of that process and how, like, I have an idea how it starts, but would you walk us through how it goes from plastic to in someone's car?
Well, if I tell you, then I have to kill you.
Well, I mean, I've lived a good life.
Okay. So, let me get...
Sorry, I don't speak for Gonzalo, though.
Might want to close your ears. No. So, I've done a lot of research. I watched... Before I even started doing it, I wanted to see how difficult this was going to be. Yeah. And I watched several different YouTube videos and read up. And so it seemed like it was a pretty easy process. Just finding the materials, I think, is the hardest thing to do.
Okay.
So
how did you find the materials?
I joined a whole bunch of groups on Facebook that were Aroma Bead groups that, you know, they kind of talked about it. And, you know, I kind of weeded out the shady ones and then got in click with the right people. But also I ordered from like 3 or 4 different suppliers. Mm-hmm. So I was able to use them. And now that I'm on like my 4th supplier, I'm finding things that work a lot better, that I'm noticing like, okay, I can actually tell the difference between A and B and C and D, and C is clearly the winner. And so
what makes like one bead better than other beads?
Oh, this is the interesting part. Everybody get ready.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. They absorb at a faster rate.
Okay.
and more aroma or more fragrance oil than
Okay.
other beads. So
So quicker absorption and more actual volume.
yes, and they have been tested to withstand higher temperatures. So here in Houston, when you're parked in a parking lot for 8 hours, you got the sun beaming in 187 degrees in the summer.
Roughly, yeah.
You're baking cookies, but your freshie is not melting.
There you
So
go.
that's what it was, and that was a lot of very interesting reading. Very interesting.
Yeah. I like how you put the air quotes
Yes,
there.
very interesting.
Very technical reading, I'm
Yes,
sure.
yes.
So you found your supplier.
I did for the beads. And then for the oils, I used a couple different ones as well, just finding what fragrance was going to have the best pitch, how far it was going to throw. I like more masculine fragrance, like the teak wood and just the cedar. And I know the sweet smells tend to give people headaches faster.
Exactly.
So if it's going to be a sugar or like a black cherry smell, I don't want the pitch to be very high because I don't want people complaining that they have a headache.
Yeah.
But with the more masculine smells, I think that those are more
What do
palatable.
I was gonna add, because as soon as you said sweet smells giving headaches, I immediately went back to when I used to get my car cleaned. They would put a cherry in there, and I would just like instantly be like, why did I forget to tell them not to do this? What makes a sweet smell, give someone a headache?
To be honest, I don't know. I think it triggers. I don't know. I can't even lie to you and tell you. I was going to try and come up with something really cool, like some neuro molecules in your brain that
got you
go on strike, and
they're just like, no cherry for us.
No
fake cherry.
No fake cherry. Give me the real stuff.
They're like, we know that BS.
Yeah, but I have already come into in the short 6 to 8 weeks that I've been publicly selling them. A couple of people got back to me and said, hey, this really gives me a bad headache.
Yeah.
And I'm super accommodating. I'm like, hey, give it back to me and let's find you something else.
Right.
I mean, I've seen these air fresheners on sale anywhere from $8 to $20. And I'm kind of in the middle, 10, 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pay on what some people might think a high end for a product, I want you to like it. And if you feel like after 2 weeks it doesn't smell anymore, well, you might have gone nose blind, but you know what? Let's get you another one. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and nickel and dime, and I want you to be happy with your product. I want you to tell your friend, to tell their friend, to tell their friend, this is where I got it from, and she's real cool, so, you should buy it from her too.
I have two things to ask off of that, by the way. First, I keep hearing the term nose blind.
Yes.
So does that mean someone just becomes so accustomed to it, or what does that mean?
Yes. So if you smell like, I like to use the example of a cat box. Like I have a cat, and my cat box is in my office, and I don't smell my cat box at all whatsoever. But when somebody comes over, I mean, the first thing they'll say is, "You have a cat?" And it's oh my goodness, yes, we have a cat. Or if I'm at work all day and I come home and immediately I'm like, who threw up? Somebody threw up. And the kids are like, no, nobody threw up. And I'm like, no, there's throw up somewhere. And I will search the house, and sure enough, there'll be like a pile of dog throw up on the floor. And I'm like, how did y'all not know this was here? And well, they've been there all day, smelling the same smell, and it doesn't seem out of place to them at all. So you can go nose blind to smelling the same thing over and over.
So you need to swap out.
I think so. Okay. Swap out and just know that, or have another person. Like if you tell somebody else, hey, when you get in my car, does it smell? What does it smell like? If somebody's quick, I always find when people get in my car still to this day, they're like, man, it smells so good in here. And I'm like, okay, it's still working. It's still working. We're good.
And how long will they usually last? You said 2 or 3 months?
Yes. You're lucky to get 12 weeks. I think that's kind of pushing it.
Okay.
8 weeks is kind of standard. And then after that, you'll kind of get glimpses of it. I usually find like when I turn my AC on like full blast and it kind of hits it, then I'll smell it more, or as soon as I get in my car. But, after a while, it kind of fades, and you can usually refresh them once, by putting more oil on them.
Oh, okay.
But once they've absorbed what they're going to absorb, they can't really absorb anymore.
And the colors that it comes, is that part of the fragrance, or is that you put the color in addition to the fragrance?
I put the color in addition to the fragrance.
Okay.
So part of the ordering process is you tell me what smell you want, what color combos you want, and then the design or the shape that you want.
Got you. So most of these orders are very custom then.
Yes. Yeah. So what I like to do is I'll give you the freedom to do whatever you want. But in the meantime, daily, I'm making different ones that I can just put stock on hand or go do like a little craft fair or something. So you don't I take the hard part out and just give you something to look at.
Got you. I got you. Craft fairs, by the way, probably not the easiest thing to do right now during the
COVID. No.
Yeah.
But I did one last weekend, and I hate wearing these fucking masks. I hate them. I really do. I hate it.
Yeah.
And I do it out of respect for people. And if you want to wear your mask, go for it. I'm not going to patronize you in any way.
Yeah.
It's just my personal opinion. I went to a food truck festival in Santa Fe.
That sounds amazing.
And it was very nice. And they had live music, and there was only a couple vendors there, and there was not a mask in sight.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Even so, like
This
my
is
daughter.
in Santa Fe?
Yeah. And my daughter came, and, she had hers on, and I'm like, take it off. And she's like, why? I feel comfortable with it on. And I'm like, no, they're going to think you have the COVID. Take it off. So
the COVID.
I enjoyed that. To me, that was more, it felt normal. It felt last year again.
Yeah.
So it was nice to interact with people and not have, and there was some people walking around with masks on, but it was just, the community there was great. And I'm doing one tomorrow morning, and it's actually in LaPorte, so in my hometown. Okay. So, and she said just to bring your mask just in case is what they told me. I got you. Okay, I can do that.
Got you. And I know you had said before that this whole business was kind of getting you out of your comfort zone. Going to Texas City, doing the LaPorte one as well. You feel like that's helping you as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm very much a homebody. I like to be home. That's where I feel safe, and that's where I feel comfortable.
Right.
So getting out of my home is one thing, and then talking to people that I don't know, especially when you're selling a product, you need to market your product, and you can't just sit there and let people look at it. You gotta hustle, and the art of hustling is to connect with people. And when you have anxiety, especially social anxiety, it's so easy just to kind of cower instead of getting out there. So part of me is just like, fuck it, let's go, let's do it, and what's the worst that can happen? You can tell me no, you don't want it, and turn around and walk away.
Right. Exactly.
I'm cool with that. There's 4 other people behind you that want one. So
you'd be surprised how many people are afraid of rejection. This is I think almost regardless of anxiety or not, I think that's a huge thing that the people, they don't want to feel like someone is saying no to them.
Right.
Like just no to actually all of them, like you as a person. Right. And I have to actually kind of train my guys and girls to realize that, you always hear they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting what they're selling, but it feels like they're rejecting you. So the way I always kind of get around it, or have them get around it, is, hey, look, find a way to leave with them accepting something. Like if they completely tell you to get out or whatever, be like, hey, would you at least take my card? Yeah, sure. Right. Like end it on some sort of positive where you've left the situation on a high note. And most people will at least be kind in some way. Right. if you go from that way. But yeah, you're exactly right. If someone says no, there's going to be 1,000 behind them that say yes.
Hopefully 1,000. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Speaking of thousands, hopefully in the future. So I'd like to roll it back to when you first started. Like, how did you first get going? Like, how did it start to blow up? Like, I kind of want to hear the, I guess, beginning and where you are now, like, and hear how you got to that part.
Yeah. So I started with the Donald Trump cutter. That was my, actually, rewind.
Yeah, why don't you tell that story how you
So how I actually got started. So
no, I meant how you got started with the Donald Trump one.
Well, that was the way I got started.
Oh, okay.
So the Don is the reason behind Texas tea.
Trump behind Texas tea.
Yes, Trump stands behind Texas tea. But
it's always nice to have presidential dab on your business.
I mean, he endorses all Texas tea.
There you go.
The little guy. But a good friend of mine got me a Freshie. Never had one before, didn't even know what it was. And it smelled amazing. I remember the name of the fragrance was Smells Like Freedom.
Ooh.
And so they just went together.
Yeah.
And her and I, we do this thing where we just randomly buy each other stuff. And so it's like, it was her turn to reciprocate. And so I got the Freshie, put it up in my car. And then every time I would take pictures in my car or do something, I'd have at least 3 or 4 people asking me, oh my God, where did you get that from? I need to know where you got that from.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no idea where I got it from. And it's like, it was a gift. So then she got me the link to where it was from. And I was like, oh my God, you paid $20 for this? It's crazy. I could have made this for less than that. And I started looking at it and I thought, you know what? I bet I can make this. And then about 3 days later, I did get pulled over on my way to work, going 60 and a 40.
Aggressive.
And I wasn't even late. I'm not even going to lie. I just was really excited to get there, I guess. I don't know.
There you go.
But I got pulled over. I have a major, huge respect for all law enforcement, military, first responders. Not that that really matters, but, I'm always yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and just engaging conversation.
We did have on your site that any first responders, police officers, or military, or ex-military, not ex-veterans, get a special discount, yeah?
Yes, anyway, absolutely.
Sorry,
anytime.
Didn't mean to.
You're good. But he could have really handed it to me. Especially, I think it was probably even a construction zone. I don't know. I go that way every single day. And he told me he was giving me a warning. And then he complimented my Freshie and asked me where I got it from. Yeah. And I was almost inclined to just rip it off and give it to him right then and there. But I didn't want to seem like over aggressive, like, oh, here, you want it? Yeah. But I thought, you know what? Screw that. That's my sign. That Don got me out of the speeding ticket. We're about to do this. And so that was one of the first ones I ordered. And a little extra, I have seen him several mornings on my route to work, again, passing by. And I actually did flag him down and give him a Donald Trump Freshie. I asked him if he remembered me.
That's awesome.
And he said, no, I don't remember you. And I said, I had the air freshener. He goes, oh, yeah. And so I don't know if this is why you let me out of my ticket if you're listening, but you're welcome. And thank you. But that's how it came to fruition, I think, is I saw it. I thought it was really cool. I knew that there was a market for it in a sense because I had so many people asking me where I got it from. Yeah. And then the first one that I kind of released was it was a black badge with a blue line, and it was Blue Lives Matter. Yeah. Well, right now with everything that's going on, I mean, I had so many orders for that because, we, in my community especially, we back our blue, we back our law enforcement. And so coming out with something that was relevant and maybe not the most popular, but in my community is popular, I think, is what my main focus and my main goal was.
Yeah. Well, with anything like that, you're going to have two sides.
Right.
But I think a very important part is that you realize the demand and you filled said demand.
Yes, absolutely. That's what got it going. So going from having the idea, researching the idea, finding the beads, going from ordering 1 pound of beads at a time to going to 50 pounds of beads at a time. And
how much does one pound make?
1 pound of beads will make you about 3 to 8 Freshies, just depending on the size. Because some of the Texas ones that I do are pretty big. And then I have like smaller ones and stuff. So it just really depends on the size and the depth. But
do you think you could make an Eastwood one?
I think I could, actually.
Okay. Awesome.
I think I could. I like a challenge, so that is, I think I could nail it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But doing that and then finding the oil, and I think the part that gets me is the patience part that I don't have, is once you put your oil in the beads, you kind of have to let them cure. So they say to let them cure for at least 7 days.
7 days.
Yes.
Oh wow.
But I give it at least probably 5. For me, I think about it logically. Once my beads have absorbed all of the fragrance oil, there's really nothing else for them to do.
Right.
So I will maybe let them sit in there for a couple more times. You can usually put your hand in the beads, and if they're dry and you don't feel anything, then you're pretty much good to go. So as long as they're not wet, I kind of take it and run with it.
Got you. So you go based on experience.
Yeah, I'm still fine tuning.
Right. How long does it take you to make one though? Like just the actual time per fragrance unit. What's the per unit time frame you think?
I can probably knock about, let's see, last night I was making a big tray of them, and I think I had 9 on the tray, and it took me about 10 to 15 minutes. It just depends really. If I'm just doing one color, I'm just dumping the beads in there. So boom, boom, boom going on.
Okay.
If I'm doing...
Oh, so you have so I guess I missed a beat. So you have like an outline already that they're getting dumped
It is a
into.
cookie cutter.
Oh, okay.
A metal cookie cutter.
Okay.
So now my secret has been spilled.
Oh, no.
Erase.
No.
Cut that.
Yeah, I cut that one.
Okay.
No secrets here.
No.
Especially if they have like a fleet of vans or trucks or something like that, So I think that's...
It's a deal.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So how many did you need?
I guess, 27? 27? I think I overdid it a little bit. 23. I always miscount my employees.
It's always good to have more than enough.
I'm not the payroll person.
Than not enough.
That's true. Love them all. So speaking of marketing and going towards, where you can make the most sales at once, but you started out just making the Donald Trump one. Mm-hmm. How did you get word out? How did you start to market? Like, what was your from that first one to selling it to getting to where you're clearly making a lot?
Yeah. I think I tried to do a suspenseful release. So I dropped like little hints and pictures, and I have a pretty supportive little circle. So I had them share it and then share it and them share it. And it was a pretty obvious hint. I think it was Donald Trump's profile with some fluffy hair. Yeah. And it was kind of just blacked out. So, people were pretty much knowing, but I think making it suspenseful, like, oh my gosh, and then saying, hey, I'm releasing this on Tuesday, and Friday, I'm done taking orders. And then I'm not going to take any more orders for it anymore. Right. So get it in while you can. I think that's what kind of helped it grow so fast, because there was a cutoff day. And even if, I had people ordering 10 and 15 of them because they just wanted everyone to have one, or, buy one for my family members, buy this, buy that. So that's kind of where it started. And then after that, I made some dog paws that were orange and white, which are our LaPorte school colors.
Oh, okay.
And we're the Bulldogs. So I kind of manipulated my way into a parents of LaPorte ISD group, which I am a parent of students, and just kind of said, hey, which color do you think represents LaPorte the best? And just kind of slap that on there. And then I had, people asking, oh my God, do you make these? Where do you get them from? And so I mean, that was totally done on purpose because I knew that was going to happen. But so going from there and then just word of mouth, really, that's all. I'm not a marketing guru. I am not as computer savvy as I would like to be.
Yeah.
I would like my 14-year-old to be more helpful, but she is also a teenager who is 14 years old. Yeah. So,
the last thing she wants to do is marketing, probably.
Exactly. And she doesn't even like when I like her stuff on TikTok. So
what? Why?
I don't know. But she
a like's a like, man.
I can view it. I can increase her views, but I can't like it. Even though she does call me her favorite. But she does help when she wants to. When there's something in it for her, she's definitely down. Definitely. But so she kind of helps me, but I am trying now. I'm at the point where, okay, everybody who I know has a Freshie in their car.
Oh, that's awesome.
And everybody who I know has bought one for somebody else too. So now I need your cousin's mom to buy one for me. Yeah. So now how am I going to get her to do it? So I feel like with this kind of product, going to a fair or a craft market or something like that, that's where you're going to make, I can sell 2 online a day. At this craft thing I did just last weekend, I sold 30, and it's like, that's what people are there for, is to buy stuff like that. So have one outlet where I can personalize it for you, make it just how you want it. And then on the other hand, you can come see me next weekend and you can have your choice between all of these.
Yeah. No, I think that's a pretty good plan.
Yes.
So you need 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th cousins.
Yes.
All to buy as well.
I need your baby daddy's mama, aunt to buy it.
And their baby daddy.
And their babies. I mean,
their babies. Yeah. There you go.
Put it next to a diaper pail.
Right.
Cat box, closet, drawer. They are not just for your car.
Oh yeah, 100%. Covering up diaper smells is a big thing.
I would think so. I think so.
I have a lot of, while you're talking about this, I had a lot of ideas of how you can market, because it seems like you can take it to every ISD then, especially you go to Deer Park, you go over to Pasadena. I mean, you could probably run ads at those groups and have people because they'll see the symbol instantly, and that will create that kind of desire, I think. Plus, I really think you can get some, especially local Texas businesses, will be really big on it. That's my thought.
Yeah. And I have found a way to kind of streamline, in the sense that if you look at it has the cutout. So what I have found is that if I do just a circle Freshie with a design on a cutout, well, that takes me literally half the time, and the design is there.
Right.
So I have designed some that are just a bulldog with black beads, and that is something you can hang in your car.
Yeah, it just has the picture.
And it has the picture on there. So you kind of get, it takes me less time to make it, so I can turn more. And to me, it looks maybe a little cleaner, a little bit more manufactured, and maybe somebody wants something more perfected like that.
Yeah,
and that would drive the price down too, because it drives my time down as well.
Right. Yeah, and I saw on your TikTok the what exactly did it say about essentially being Miss Bitch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I was already laughing over there.
Yes, I don't remember exactly what it said either, but I made another one that said, I think it said "blow me," and it had like a dandelion on it. And there was another one that said, "Don't be a salty bitch," and it had the little Morton salt girl on it with the umbrella.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh my God, that always reminds me of my favorite meme, where it's like a older lady licking like a pop and it says all these flavors and you choose to be salty.
Yes. Yes. If you're going to be salty, at least bring the margarita. I mean, something.
That's a great one. You have to make
something.
That one.
I probably will.
I think that's a good, as you seize the moment with the Blue Lives Matter, I think you could probably find every possible like trending meme. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not a meme, but I mean trending,
right.
Yeah, trending topic and go with that.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's kind of it did the Blue Lives and then the Trump and then I did the 2A with the gun and then I did this past one was a pink ribbon for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, and
then I bumped the price up from 10 to 13, but I also donated $5 from each sale to Susan G. Komen. I personally don't have anybody that has been affected by breast cancer, but I do have some very close family members that have somebody affected. So to me, and my brother is in remission with thyroid cancer. So the cancer itself has affected my family, and I know breast cancer is huge, especially for women. So, well, duh. But men can get it too.
Yeah, it's just very rare.
Yes, but it can happen.
Yeah. Speaking of time-sensitive things, I know Veterans Day is coming up. Mm-hmm. Do you have a thing in mind for Veterans Day?
My mind's all over the place. My dad is a Marine, or he was in the Marines. My stepdad was in the Navy. Oh, wow. You can get my whole family, which is ginormous, by the way. Close your eyes and spin, and if you point at one, 9 times out of 10, they were in some branch of the military.
That's awesome.
So I have just an infinity for all branches. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to just stick to one. Right. Although, my dad was a Marine, so it's kind of hits close to home.
I feel like that would be a little bit hard to shape that one.
Yeah, I did. I made him one that was a shape of the United States, and it had one of these cutouts that was the Marine logo on it. Yeah. So that's the one that I made for him, and I'm thinking doing something like that. And of course, I'm going to do like a buy one get one free or something, because I don't want you to have to pay for it. I want to give it to you as appreciation, because that's pretty awesome.
What if you did that would be tough. The Wounded Warrior symbol. That's a really complex symbol.
Yeah.
So maybe the picture of it on there.
Yeah, I could do that.
That would be a cool one. And then kind of do the same thing with the breast cancer awareness.
Yes, and donate. Yeah, that would be good. I like helping when I can.
Yeah, I also am a big proponent of Mission 22. Mm-hmm. So that's a big one too. I don't know how easy. But anyway, sorry, I was just spitballing over here.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, that's super cool. That you do kind of take things that are obviously very important to people, and I think you're not only like selling. I think you're sometimes, in my view, selling more than just a fragrance. It's an opportunity for someone to take something that they need anyways, a car to smell good, and to pridefully display something that they really like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the only Freshie that I refuse to make is a Dallas Cowboys one. That's it. I will make anything else. I might even make a Joe Biden one. You can twist my arm. I might do it. Yeah. But I am not making a Dallas Cowboys star.
Wow, that's strong.
I'm not.
Well, sorry, all of Dallas.
Yes. Sorry, Dallas.
Well, I'm a big New York Jets fan, so you could just make a trash can.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. I mean, at least you're not a Patriots fan.
Oh, my God. I can't even imagine you make. I would be very upset if I saw that. I'm a big anti-Patriots fan, but yeah. So obviously you're a Texans fan then.
To a fault. I am loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
I really am. I love my Texans. I love all Houston teams.
Right.
Texans, Astros, Rockets. I don't think soccer is a sport, so I don't really care for Dynamo.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's a sport in a lot of the rest of the world. But hey, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of soccer either.
That much running to me is
It's exhausting.
It's torturous almost to watch too, because it's like I can't with you guys.
Well, my I mean, not to get off topic, but my always biggest hang up with soccer is it's too little action in terms of scoring.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so many times where it could just be a tie, and that's just
I have pyramids. So football's at top because I like it's to me the most action packed. And football on TV and football in person, to me they share the same brethren. So I can watch football on TV and be just excited if I was there in person.
Of course.
Of course, it's a little bit more elevated in person, but they're the same. Baseball, postseason baseball is fun on TV.
True.
Regular season baseball will put me to sleep.
Because I was laughing. Well, there's like 1,073 games, I think, right?
Yes, exactly. And then going to see a baseball game, I can sit through 9 innings at Minute Maid and watch.
Yeah.
When they were the Lastros, I could not do that. But now that we got a team, I can sit through 9 innings at Minute Maid and watch. And I don't even drink beer, so that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
For basketball, I can watch basketball on TV. I don't care for watching basketball in person, only because I hyper focus on all the squeaks of the shoes.
Oh yeah.
And I can't unfocus from that. So it will end up driving me crazy. Yeah. Not that I've ever just really had great seats to a basketball game. Anyway,
around that is you can kind of maybe bring in like a mixer and start dropping beats to it and make like maybe some techno songs based on the.
I could, or I could just get hammered, and then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, and then I have been to one hockey game when we used to have a hockey team here, and that was the most amazing experience I think I've ever had. Yeah. When they just
was a hockey team,
the Arrows.
Oh yeah.
Yes, when they threw their gloves and they just started, I was like, "What is happening?" And everybody's cheering them on. I'm like, "Yes, kick his ass!" I didn't even know what he did, but it was just so cool.
That is wild, by the way, that there's a professional sport that literally fighting it out, which is not even any part of the actual sport, is a thing.
Yeah, and it's totally like they were letting him do it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty, I mean, if they would let more people do that in real life.
Just fight it out.
Like, look, y'all just handle this yourself. We're still going to take you to jail, but just get it taken care of. So there's life would be so much better, I think.
Pent up rage.
I think so. I think if I could just slap somebody that really pissed me off, still get in trouble for it, so I know that there's going to be a repercussion for my action.
Right.
But to me, that's where does the consequence versus reward. So is the reward of me getting to vent my rage? Yeah. Yeah, to me it would be worth it. Totally. And then go to jail, get away from the chaos of the teenagers for a night. 3 hots in a cot.
There's an old terrier. There's 3 hots in a cot.
I feel like I heard if you go to Webster, Joe, they give you Sonic too. So
what?
I mean, I could get a blizzard.
Oh my God.
Control the remote.
My whole life is turning around now. Yeah. First of all, I love Sonic, and I love peace and quiet.
Exactly.
And I heard Webster cops pull you over for a lot of things too. Webster and Pasadena. So I'm starting to rethink my life. Mm-hmm. Trip to Webster.
I mean, there's so much to do in Webster.
I know. Yeah. A ton of stuff. Hey, there's NASA. There's NASA over there. Have you ever thought of making a NASA one?
Not really. No, I haven't. I haven't really kind of explored out of kind of what I'm doing now. I think what happens is like my mind goes 0 to 100. Yeah. So I'm making these, and first I'm like boom, boom, boom. I'm getting 30, 40 orders a day. Yeah. And then like right now I might get 10 a week. Wow. So immediately my mind's like, okay, now what can I do? Right. And so now I'm doing shows, and now I'm doing markets and stuff. So my husband told me that I need to calm down and kind of just let it work itself out. And I'm sure it will. Yeah. I have no doubt that it will, but I feel like I got to keep going.
How do you, because clearly right now you're doing everything. Mm-hmm. How do you think you can scale it if you need to?
I think the free labor of my children would help a little.
That's called child labor.
Well, they are reimbursing
For rent.
Yeah, rent, cell phone, internet. All I have to provide is food, clothes, and a roof over their head.
Yeah.
So anything else they need to pay me back for. And it's either going to be now or later. So
Hey, I mean, pay it forward, right?
I have not done my own laundry or made dinner in about 2 years. And that is why I had kids, essentially.
That's what I haven't had kids yet, but I think about that, and I'm like, that sounds nice.
It really is. At first, I was very, I would micromanage a lot because I'm the mom that after the Christmas tree gets decorated by the children, they go to sleep and then I take everything off and then re-put it back on. Or the dishwasher gets loaded and then I take everything out and put it back in.
Yeah.
I've kind of learned to just say fuck it and hey, the dishes are clean. I mean, if I got to scrape something off, I haven't died yet, so we're okay.
This might be a good thing for the future when you're running a Texas tea full-on operation.
Yeah, and it's real hard to, I'm a control freak, obviously. Yeah. So it's real hard to pass the reins, but my son was helping me for a good while. Because there's like two components. There's the making component, making and baking, where you're just pouring the beads in, you're baking it, letting it come out. And then there's the designing component. So once it comes out and is dried, I trim all the edges, add what needs to be added, drill the hole, put the nail in, package it. So he was helping me with the baking side while I was doing the design side. And that really helped.
Got you. So you kind of have an idea of what needs to be done to get it to that point. But as your husband said, take it slow and steady one day at a time.
Yes, I know.
But it sounds like you're getting there. And I think this is a pretty natural time to close. I think I know exactly where everyone can go find you.
Yes.
If you're on Facebook, Texas Tea 2020.
Yes.
Or you could just search Texas Tea fragrances. It might pop up, or Freshies. It might pop up. You can also go on Instagram now, Texas Tea Freshies.
Yes.
And I believe Jessica is very excited about this TikTok.
I am super excited.
At Texas Tea Freshies on TikTok. And if you have any ideas, she's super open to everything.
Absolutely.
And I forgot to. Do you have a list there of the fragrances, or is it just up to them?
I have a list of fragrances, a list and these are on Facebook. I've just started the Instagram and the TikTok, so I haven't really grown those out very much yet. But on Facebook, there's a list of fragrances. There's a list of the basic designs that I have. And I'm always posting, hey, I got this new one. My stock always goes up on Sunday. So I'll post a stock on hand to where you can see everything that I have. So if you just want to look through that, figure out which one you want, that's always on Sunday. Law enforcement, military, and first responders always get 20% off. Always. And thinking probably come February, teacher appreciation, I'll do a percentage off for all of our educators, because I know that what they're doing right now is tough. I would definitely like to pay it forward in some way for them too. Of course.
And of course, if you have any questions for Jessica at all, you can either put it on our page or in the comments below. As always, it was a pleasure having you on, Jessica.
Thank you.
Pleasure that you guys are listening yet again. And of course, you can find Texas Tea Podcast, not to be confused with Texas Tea, the fragrance company. No. Two separate things, one great name. You can find Texas Tea Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else. You pretty much search it, find it. Let us know who else you want to come on. And that's all we got for tonight.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.